Hi, I'm Cheryl, and I work for Access, and I am here today with Matt from Pop Evil. Hi, Matt.
Hey, good to be here.
So, Pop Evil has a new album out. They have a new single, and you guys are on tour right now. And can you tell me a little bit about the new album, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. We're all excited because we're gearing up here for, the album release week. The CD's dropping here in a few days. And, it kind of picks up right where Onyx left off. It's a lot happier album,
Right.
Like we went through a lot of stuff when we were recording Onyx. And it's kind of a very dark, sort of, aggressive album, getting out of a lot of angst and getting things off of your chest.
Right.
And, this new album is sort of like what happens once you get all of that out, once you get everything off of your chest, where do you go from there? And, the answer for us is up.
And there were a few songs on Onyx that did make me cry, I have to say. There's a few tear jerkers on there.
Me too,
So.
And that's what's great about it. That's part of the healing process for us as artists as well as fans. We've gone through so many different albums throughout the course of our lifetime that have helped us at different stages in our life.
Absolutely.
Where we felt like, man, if I didn't have this album at this point in time, I could have never gotten through this hurdle in my life. And so to be able to try to make music that can be general enough to be applied to other people's lives, where they can use that as sort of a healing technique, that's the whole reason why we do this. That's like the ultimate goal is to get out there and touch people's lives.
And that is true. I mean, I use albums or different music if you're feeling sad about a loss or something, and you can listen to that and you can relate to it. It's one of the best therapies there is to get well through music. And so when you make an album like that, you really do help a tremendous amount of people. Even if you don't realize it, you do. You really do.
Yeah, there are a handful of personal stories that really stick out to us, and we're just happy to be a part of that. If we can, touch one person, I mean that's enough. That makes it all worth it. That makes all the time away from our families and the travel and the headaches and all the stuff with the music industry. It just evens out. When you hear those stories, that's like the instant payoff for us.
And that's why it's so important nowadays, especially with all the touring the bands do in general. Bands are much more, because CDs, of course, can be gotten anywhere off the internet. Bands are touring, and you are meeting the fans, and that's really, really nice because you can hear those stories. It's not like back in the 80s when you never met the bands or anything like that.
Yeah, and, I think it's funny, too, because back then, the whole concept of touring was something completely different. The only reason that you would tour would be to go promote an album, so you promote the sales, you do songs that, you're just coming out with on that album. People would come out to the tour to get a glimpse of it, and then they would go out and buy the album. Now it's sort of the opposite, where you make albums to stay on tour.
Right, exactly.
Tour to promote an album, we're doing album promotion.
Very opposite. So you have the new single out, and you have, of course, been touring. Just recently, you toured with, you did a show with Judas Priest down at Freedom Hill Amphitheater in the Detroit area. So how was that? You got to play with Judas Priest.
Oh, it's fantastic. That was one of the first tours that we ever did was with ourselves, Whitesnake, and Judas Priest.
Okay.
And that was back when Hero was, a single on the radio and things like that, and stuff on the Lipstick on the Mirror. And it was pretty wild because, on that first tour, we didn't really talk with the guys that much. We said hey to Rob Halford every now and then, and but to see him sort of acknowledge our progress. I remember before the show, he came into our dressing room and he's like, "Hey guys, I just watched the lyric video for In Disarray today, and I see where Footsteps is on the charts, and I've seen this and this and that, and all these things that you guys are doing, and I just think it's great." and he came out and he watched our entire set.
Oh, he did. Oh, was he on side stage, or was he just out there somewhere? Probably if he was just dressed like normally, people would not even know.
He went from one side of the stage to the other, and he was taking pictures the whole time.
Oh, okay.
And it was just really cool to sort of know him earlier in our career, and now a little bit later, and to see the respect from him as as one of our peers now, rather than just.
That is so amazing. Just as a person, he's been in the business so long, and the fact that he's been kind of keeping an eye on you and what you've been doing, that's pretty much that is pretty amazing, right? And
because he doesn't have to. He could just kind of keep his head down and do his own thing and be fine. But he does keep an eye on what's relevant, what's going on in the industry today. And it's pretty amazing to think that, even at his age and his stage in the career, he still cares about up and coming bands.
And also, what a boost to you guys. I mean, I don't care what job you're doing. It doesn't matter. If to have someone else that's been in a business that you're doing to come in and say, hey, you guys are doing a really good job. I mean, that just boosts you no matter what. And so that's just just shows what kind of person he is. And that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
So, and you also were in Michigan for Dirt Fest, which was another kind of big deal, because that's one of the biggest metal festivals in hard rock, and they've gone to 2 days instead of one, so they're doing really well. Even though I've heard some festivals have had to close down, so we really don't want Dirt Fest to do that. We want to keep Dirt Fest in Michigan, right?
Right, absolutely.
And so you played that last weekend, actually, and I'm assuming that went well, and you tried out some of the new songs, some of the new music.
Yep, we did a couple new songs for that, and it's good because it's close to home for us, and we consider just about anywhere in Michigan home.
Sure.
That weekend that we did that, we had a handful of Michigan shows. We played Traverse City, we played Bertram, Dirt Fest, we played Jackson, Michigan, with Shinedown, and it's great, after going overseas and coming back to Canada and doing other parts of the U.S. all the way up to the West Coast and stuff like that, to come back and do some of the hometown crowds. It's always a really great feeling.
And so you have your new album. The album is called Up, and your first single is Footsteps. And of course, a lot of people have been hearing about the new release of Ghost of Muskegon. And of course, that's in Michigan. And you guys are from the Western Michigan area. A few of you are from Muskegon, a few from Grand Rapids, right? You're not.
Right. Yep, I'm actually flying into Muskegon today.
Oh, okay. So you guys, now a few of you guys are from Muskegon. You're from Muskegon.
Yeah.
You and Lee are from Muskegon.
Yeah.
And then,
that's right.
Okay. So there's a lot of interest in the Ghost of Muskegon song, because I understand that Lee went to Alcatraz, and that was an inspiration for him.
Yep.
So how did he? So he just went and visited Alcatraz, and did he have any thoughts about how that was an inspiration for him? Did he share that with you?
He can explain it better than I can.
Right.
That's sort of his.
That's sort of his question. But it is really interesting.
I think everyone kind of has their own take on what it means and what that song is to them, because it's sort of a puzzle. When you listen to it, it's hard to decipher. But I know for me, what that song means when I listen to it. I picture myself going back to my hometown after years and years and years of touring and being out, across the world and doing different things. And then it's sort of like that feeling when you come back and you see people that you once knew, and they're not the same people that you thought. And you're not the same person anymore. They're so engulfed in their daily routine, and it seems, as soon as you go out to places, you see people just shuffling around, staring at their feet.
Right.
And, it's sort of this feeling of almost being lost, or like you don't belong.
You don't fit in anymore to that.
And so that's my interpretation of it. I know it doesn't necessarily have to do with how the song was written or anything like that, but
well, that's the beautiful thing about songs.
Me on the phone and not leave. That's what you get for me.
Well, I'm sure if I ask each one of you in the band, I'd probably get a different answer, right? So
absolutely.
And
the thing is, it doesn't even necessarily matter what it means to me. It could have a totally different meaning for a first time listener and things like that, and I could have just spoiled it for someone.
Well, that's well, that's the beauty of music, though, because when you write and you write something from the heart, a lot of times it's the emotion that you're feeling, not necessarily the lyric or just the lyrics that somebody else wrote. It's the emotion of it. So people do put their own, even if you say I think this or Lee thinks that, it's up to interpretation, right?
Absolutely.
But that is very cool, and it's very cool that it has Muskegon in it in the title, kind of a little piece of home, right? A little piece of home, right? Putting that in the song. And for those of you who don't know you, which you guys have been doing so well, and most people know your band if they enjoy rock music. Can you tell me who are all the members in the band and what they do?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Matt DiRito. I play bass guitar. I do backup vocals. We have Nick Fueling, who is our lead guitarist. David Gross is our rhythm guitarist. Chachi Riot is our drummer. And Lee Takati is our lead vocalist. Okay,
so I'm sure most people that are probably watching this interview know you guys, but it's always good to tell people if they don't. And I also thought it was really interesting. You're coming, of course, to Grand Rapids, Michigan, to the Intersection on Friday, the 21st, for a CD release party. But you're also having a couple of CD release parties at other venues as well. You're doing one in Cincinnati and one in Fort Wayne.
Yep.
So that's is that something that you usually do when you do CD releases? Do you usually do it in more than one place?
Yeah, we usually try to lump a few in together. We'll do, of course, like a hometown one, and then we try to hit a couple markets close by and stuff because we're excited about it coming out. We want to dive into that excitement with everyone else too, and sort of witness them witnessing our hard work for the first time. So we'll do a handful of shows. It's not always the same, but
right.
We like to get out there and do a couple of them for sure.
Well, and it's nice too because you guys being from Michigan, I'm sure Ohio and Indiana, both of those places were kind of your probably first stepping stone out of Michigan.
Oh, absolutely.
So those are probably Pierre's and Bogart's. Yeah, so that's kind of nice that you're doing it in this general area. So, and the writing, we were talking about your interpretation. Do you guys generally write your music together, or does one person do the lyrics, one person does the music? How do you usually handle your songwriting?
We don't have any rules really when it comes to that. Like, we don't have a set way that we do it. Actually, it's different. Every album that we've made, is different. And this is the second album that we've had like the same lineup on. Every album previously, the lineup would kind of change a little bit from album to album. So on Onyx, we had the same exact lineup as we had for this new album, Pup. And so we're able to sort of get a little bit of a system down for us.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Everybody writes.
Everybody's.
And what we tried to do this time was set aside some time for us to actually jam together as a band, and instead of just taking one person's idea and then we'll all learn that and kind of play it in the studio, like we took a compilation of everybody's ideas and we just sit down and go through those and jam them out as a band and sort of pick them apart and edit them together as a group.
Right. And that's really nice. I mean, it's really nice, and that consistency is nice too that you've had for both albums. Now, I saw the first video for the album. Really imaginative. You guys have the best videos, really. I've always been a big fan. I've always been a big fan of your videos because I think that now that MTV is off and some of the music videos on television, some bands you don't see as many videos from them, but they really are really important. And I really like the imagination you put into them. And so this one, tell me about it.
Yeah, this video for Footsteps basically just kind of parallels the song and the fact that, a guy who's sort of waking up in this cubicle, his little world, his little universe that he's used to getting up and then working and then going to sleep and then eating and being told what to do. And then one day he sort of wakes up and realizes, like, there's got to be something more. He breaks out of it and finds this whole world outside that he never knew. And it's sort of like, pushing your limits and testing the possibilities of things. And, he figures out, like, he can do so much more than he's been told.
Right.
And, the end of the video, he's sort of, like, he's climbing over this mountain and testing out, like, his powers, so to speak.
Okay.
The powers that he's using to transform his own life. And then he sees this field of other cubes that have, people imprisoned in them, which
right.
to us is sort of like, being stuck in that mindset or that thought that, that everything, you have to do everything that you're told and life has to be a certain way, and, she sees all these other people like that. So sort of, a pioneer of sorts, like, sent off to go spread the word that there's much more to life than just...
Right. Well, it's a really good video, and I think if people should go on your YouTube page and your Facebook page and watch it. And you guys, you have an amazing stage show. So if you haven't seen Pop Evil, you need to go see them because you guys are amazing on stage. You really have a presence. I think that's one of those things like the X Factor. You can't invent necessarily a presence like that. So
sure.
you are very exciting to see live. And I did see you down with Judas Priest. Well, I've seen you many times, but I was down there cheering the Grand Rapids people. So you guys, it was really great to see you playing on that big stage down there with Judas Priest. And so we know we can find you on Facebook. We can find you on Instagram, Twitter, all the regular places. And your album, we should be looking for your new album up. And fans should be watching, of course, for Footsteps, the single, and Ghost of Muskegon. And you will be playing these new songs out on tour. So the fans are excited to see the new music. And hopefully, maybe you will throw in, I think it was last year, I got to see you do an acoustic show here in Grand Rapids. And hopefully, maybe you can throw in a few of those because that was a really nice thing to do. Have you any plans to maybe do that again?
Yeah, we have an acoustic show actually right after our CD release show in Grand Rapids.
Oh, okay.
A couple days later at the Rush Link in the mall.
Okay.
At the FYE store.
That's right.
So that's right. Part of our CD release week. So we're doing an acoustic set, like in the mall. Some of our new tunes and stuff like that. We'll be doing like CD signing and things like that there too.
I actually remember seeing that, and I thought I have to come see you guys out at. It's at Rivertown Mall in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So, and if people want to come to that, I believe you have to buy a CD Is that your ticket in? I can't remember. I read it.
Something like that.
I think you have. Usually, you have to buy a CD or you have to buy a post or something, and that gets you into the meet and greet. So, so you'll be doing probably a few songs, and then
Yes.
the meet and greet. So that's exciting. That's something for fans to look forward to if they live in this area, and you guys are always so available, and I think that's one thing that's really, really nice. I know that you did a meet and greet like at Best Buy a couple of years ago before a show, and it's really nice that you make yourself available to people that might not be able to come to the shows, the bigger shows, or afford them.
Yeah, if we see demand for it, we try to meet that demand. We don't ever want to deny people that want the chance to come meet us or shake our hand or take a picture,
Right.
things like that.
And
We just try to be smart about how we set it up and things like that, and try to make those opportunities available where we can.
Right, and that's really nice. And so people that are fans of Pop Evil, watch their Facebook page for tour dates. Check out their videos, their YouTube page, and you can find them just about everywhere. And be sure to buy the new album, right? Either buy it
that's right.
or get it on iTunes.
In stores August 21st.
All right, August 21st, and people can also buy it when they go to your shows and come see you and buy other merch too, right? Because you have fantastic merch as well. I just have to say that you have some really nice T-shirts and things that are kind of original. And I have a few, and I love them. They're always my favorites. So I wear them, and people should buy them, right?
Good.
Help the band.
Try to make them out of good comfy material and stuff like that.
Well,
a lot of mine end up being like pajama shirts because they're like the most comfortable.
Right. Well, you know what? That's what keeps bands on the road. I mean, if you want to see your favorite bands come around, it's up to the music fans. We have to support you. And help.
It really is. That's what makes the difference between being able to tour and even put out albums and stuff like that. Is
I think a lot of people don't realize that if you want your favorite bands to be on tour and be able to afford to do that, that we really do have to help out and do our end too by buying the CDs and buying merch and helping the bands back. So.
Yep. But there are a lot of people that do realize that too, and thank you to all the people who do that.
Yes.
We see a lot of very familiar faces from show to show to show, and we have a lot of very loyal fans that we love and look forward to seeing like show after show, and instantly recognize when we see their face in the crowd.
You guys do.
Great feeling.
You guys really do. You have a very, very loyal fan base. When you do go to shows, you see a lot of the same people. And after a while, if you go to a lot of your shows, you see the same people. And it's like a family. It really is. And that's nice.
Oh, yeah. Big
That's
time.
nice. And so I know, Matt, that you have other things to do today besides talk to me. So we will look for your album, your new album. We'll look for your videos, and we will find you on Facebook. And this is Matt